Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Margarida Bento, and I developed my PhD work at the National Laboratory of Civil Engineering under the supervision of Dr. Teresa Viseu and Dr. Lúcia Couto, and at the Faculty of Engineering of the University of Porto under the guidance of Dr. João Pêgo. Today, I'm going to present to you the study entitled Hydrological Risk and Associated Scour Risk Case Study Sensitivity Analysis. I've divided my speech in 5 parts. In the first part, I will introduce the importance of the presentation topic. Later, I will present a selected case study. Hydrological and the scour risk will be explored and their main findings here presented. At the end, a sensitivity analysis will be performed. Hydraulic infrastructures are structures that are fully or partially submerged in water. They are built to either divert, disrupt, store, or completely stop the natural flow of water bodies. Based on the work they are designed to perform, on streamflow, hydraulic infrastructures are categorized as water conveying structures, like artificial channels, water retaining structures, like dams, or special proposed structures, for example, for traffic transport purposes, like bridges. It is of utmost importance analyzing the main causes, the level of risks, and also the potential consequences of a certain collapse. Focusing the analysis to bridges, floods, scour, and other hydraulic events are thought to be the most common causes of total or partial bridge collapses worldwide. The level of risk can be classified as acceptable or unacceptable, depending on the bridge typology, importance, and dimensions, as well as on the consequences of its potential collapse. As consequences, bridge collapses can lead to life loss, injury, environment distress, among others. A recent study ranged scour as being one of the main causes of bridge failures, responsible for more than 50% of recorded collapses over the world. In Portugal, the most recent and hazardous case of scour occurred in 2001 with the collapse of the Rios Bridge, causing 59 human casualties. According to national authorities, it occurred in a sequence of 3 months of floods exceeding 8,000 meters cubic per second, alongside 2 decades of uncontrolled sand extraction, which compromised the bridge stability. Following the disaster, preliminary studies were planned for the rehabilitation of the Rios Bridge, considering the importance of maintaining the crossing at the lower Douro level, particularly to those local populations. However, underwater inspections undertaken promptly excluded that hypothesis, and in April 2001, the Portuguese government announced the tendering procedure for the construction of the new bridge over the Douro River. The old bridge was thus replaced by the new Ribeiro Bridge, inaugurated in May 2002, 7.5 meters upstream of the old bridge's position. The severe socioeconomic impact of the collapse of Rios Bridge dictated its importance for the purpose of the current study, providing data and highlighting the importance for reliable estimates of extremely charged flows in hydrological risk assessment and its relation with the scour risk of the new Ribeiro Bridge. Hydrological risk is typically considered during the design process of any hydraulic infrastructure. It is defined as a probability of occurrence of an event, at least once, over a period of n successive years. The designer is generally concerned with the return period for which the infrastructure should be designed, Then, based on the design life and on the acceptable hydrological risk of an hydraulic infrastructure, the return period for which a structure should be designed can be ascertained. So, following that formula, the design for the scour risk evaluation, a new and pragmatic methodology for assessing scour risk at bridge foundations was developed by the same authors, which comprised three main steps. Firstly, the hydrological modeling of extreme events. Secondly, the computation of flow and scour variables to model river behavior, namely the total depth of scour, including the local and the contraction scour, at the most vulnerable bridge foundations, performing by using the Agir software. And thirdly, the assignment of a bridge scour qualitative risk rating based on the relation between the relative scour depth and the priority factor of that infrastructure based on a matrix derived by Highways Agency. The priority factor is dependent on several factors, such as the foundation type, the history of scour problems, foundation material, the type of river, and also the importance factor. So, assuming the 17 meters of foundation depth at the most vulnerable pier at the New Ribeiro Bridge, determined from a survey from 2019, and the priority factor of 0.9, different design floods were studied, corresponding to return periods between 5 and 1,000 years. As can be observed, distinct relative scour depths were obtained, ranging from 0.4 for key 5 to 0.74 for key 1,000. A resulting scour risk rating based on the magnitudes of the relative scour depth, PR, and the priority factor, PF, were assigned through this figure. The risk rating of the New Ribeiro Bridge fell within the risk rating band 5, regardless of the flood return period. Within this value, risk can be accepted and no important damages are expected. The frequency of underwater inspections currently being undertaken by the Portuguese Authority for the Conservation of Bridges, once in every 3 years, is deemed appropriate for the level of risk obtaining using this methodology. It should also note that the obtained rating should be considered as indicative and not a definitive statement of relative risk, as indicated in Highways Agency. Although the structural design particularities of the New Ribeiro Bridge were beyond the reach of the authors, a sensitivity analysis to the relation between hydrological and the scour risk may be performed. For instance, assuming the typical 50 years for the expected design life of the New Ribeiro Bridge, different return periods could be plausibly used in its design process, depending on the acceptance hydrological risks. As 100-year return period of the design floods event corresponds to hydrological risk of 40%. For hydrological risk of 10%, the bridge will be designed to withstand the 500-year flood, whereas for a longer design life of 100 years, hydrological risk between 15 and 20 would be attained. The adopted return period has a design criterion, and associated design flood also plays a significant role in the assessment of admissible scour risk for the bridge structural stability, which is also dependent on the priority factor attributed to that bridge. While key 500 in 50 years has a design life, is associated with a lower hydrological risk. The water level regarding that design flood reaches the bridge deck which adds other source of instability in addition to the inherent scour risk. So a careful analysis should be done when comparing the hydrological risk with the scour risk. Thank you so much for your attention. This work was supported by the Portuguese Foundation for Science and Technology through the PhD scholarship and in the framework of the doctoral program InfraRisk.